All right, we're live. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Merlot. Oh, wait, Marketing and Merlot. We just came up with that last week.
I know.
Robert, what do you think?
Yeah, I love it.
I like it. M&M's.
M&M's. And we're going to go like L squared. Marketing and Merlot. Live.
M&M's of L and L.
See, now you got to draw like a matrix, and you got to have different things with the L's and the M's. Like, it's a whole thing.
That's true. And we're counting on Robert to make some pithy comments after we release the logo.
Uh-oh. Okay.
The source today?
That's his specialty. Robert always makes the best comments.
He does. Very witty.
If you say so.
You do. It's true. It's true.
Well, you know what? Something I've always wanted to know. Were you gals at Traffic and Conversion Summit a couple years ago?
No.
Okay.
Why did you meet two really hot, awesome girls that knew a lot about traffic and things? Yeah.
Well, my wife did, but it was when she was my girlfriend, and like I've been trying to figure out for like a couple of years now. Like she went out to the patio and like she was trying to quit smoking, and there were these two blonde, like 30s age or so ladies smoking, and they kind of got her back into the smoking thing. But they were like, "Oh, what are you here for this conference for?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm Robert Plank's girlfriend." And they're like, "Oh, Robert Plank, like where do I even start?" And I'm like, I don't know like two blonde ladies who were both in their 30s, and I'm like, I don't know who it could be. And then like after I met both of you and interview both of you, I showed her your pictures, and she's like, "Oh, it could be them." But I mean, I'm still on the search, I guess.
Okay, so if you are two hot blonde chicks that were at did you say Traffic and Conversion Summit?
Yeah, in 2016.
Okay, and they were super hot, like really hot and really smart.
And in their 30s.
Yeah,
exactly.
That was
tell Robert it was you. Adam Homie says Adam Homie. Thank you, Adam.
It's like Denny Crane. He just got to put it out there. Adam Homie.
Seeing as I'm 46, I just like the 30s thing just, whoo, you made my day.
There you go.
Robert, let's do a proper introduction of you. Yeah. Why don't you tell people who you are, why you're here, and your specialty being membership sites and other things, but specifically why we brought you on to be membership site man tonight.
All righty. I'm your membership site guy because I used to do the geeky techie stuff. Oh, what are you pointing at here?
You.
So should I be going?
Intro. Oh. It's my intro to you.
Okay, so so you're pointing at me and like it. I don't know what it's gonna come out as the final product. Like it's like a Brady Bunch thing, right? Like off to the side, but
I can go like.
Okay, I can all right. So anyway, I'm your membership site guy because I used to do the geeky computer stuff, but I think that all of us like who are on the show now and listening, like it's like we all had these past lives, right? We all had like the 9-to-5 gig was, or maybe a couple of things like that, different phases in our lives, and now we're moving on to maybe building our own business and maybe taking those skills from previous times and kind of making it our own, right? So I used to do the computer programming stuff, but there's a limit to that. And it's like, do I want to be making 30-40 grand a year forever and be sort of unhappy and get carpal tunnel syndrome from all the coding? Or do I want to be some stupid like business manager? I didn't want to do that either. So then I found this internet marketing thing, but then still with the internet marketing thing, I kind of got pigeonholed because then people just wanted to hire me to do more computer stuff. And I was like, I left leaving one job to go to another. So then at a certain point, I had to make these things called information products, right? And I had to take the things that I knew about computer programming and making websites and kind of packaging them up into something where someone can just buy, where it didn't involve me, where it could run on autopilot, where, you know, I could sell hundreds or thousands of copies or whatever and just make that money and not have to really like work for it that much and have all the passive income and stuff like that. And so I can sort of see it from both sides, right? I can see it from the computer geeky side to do whatever you want, but I can also see it from the kind of, I don't want to know the detail side. I just want to get it done. And so I think everyone needs to have a membership site. People still in this day and age, they overthink what a membership site is. They think it has to be all this content, all these things. It can be way simpler than that. Everyone watching this can have a membership site today or tonight or tomorrow if they want. You can have it really quickly. It doesn't have to take months. It doesn't have to be some big, huge production. Just make it simple. Just get it done. So yeah, I'm your membership site guy. And I think my shtick with the membership site stuff is being practical and getting it done and not overthinking the dang thing.
Okay, so what is a membership site, Robert?
A membership site is something where somebody can be a member. So technically, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, those are membership sites, right? Yeah, because you go to Facebook, you say, let me make an account, let me log in, let me recover my password. Like, you're a member of Facebook. And for some reason, what's that?
I was just laughing at the recover my password part.
I mean, right? But if you think about it, like, I mean, we take for granted that like all these websites kind of have the same thing, right? Like, you go to Facebook and you have a username, you have a password, you make a membership site for your customers, they have a username, they have a password, there's the password recovery and all that stuff. But for some reason, this idea of a membership site has this baggage attached to it. And people think that they have to make something monthly. For some reason, the term monthly gets tacked on to membership site. They think it's got to be something where, oh, I charge, $10 a month or $20 a month, and I've got to have 2,000 members in it, and I have to think of something new to post there every day. And for some reason, people get stuck on that model, and it shouldn't be that way.
That's true. I do. One of my most successful clients literally has a membership site where he has 7 videos that he recorded however long ago, and like wham bam, and he gets people paying, and that's the site. That's the membership site. He makes a crap ton of money on it.
And even social media marketing world, I mean, you bought their membership's not cheap. And then it's like they have a ton of resources. I don't know how often they update it. I have no clue, but there's a sea of memberships. Membership sites, actually, Robert, are how I even got into the online business and the VA world and everything in the first place.
Really? I didn't know that.
With Jim Palmer, the newsletter guru.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I know who Jim is. Then I guess, yeah, he does have a membership site. I was trying to think of his products, but yeah.
No hassle newsletters and social media. And so I was working in the back end of the membership site with the shopping cart, obviously wish list and the back end of that, and even the material and what was logged in and how the membership worked. So that was actually my intro into entrepreneurship and on the online world. So
Robert, how many membership sites do you have personally? Do you have any active right now?
Yeah, well, okay, so when we say membership site, are we saying membership sites or monthly membership sites?
Membership sites. Because you just told me in your previous thing, you said
listen.
Okay. It was all membership sites.
I'm making sure we're talking about the same thing. So I would say I have about 35 or 40 that are out there in existence. But I would say that probably only like 5 or so are the big money makers. 5 are the ones where I focus my attention. There's kind of like the core ones that make the money where I focus my attention and send the traffic. And then there's like all these other ones kind of in the periphery there where they make a little bit of money, and they're ways for people to get access to things that they bought maybe years ago. So there's a bunch of them out there, but they're definitely not all equal. So
do you actually do client work, or do you just sit back and collect the coin from the membership site?
So, I mean, as far as client work, like I have a client right now where I kind of meet with them and then show them what to do, but I don't like to take over someone else's membership site. Robert, we can't hear you. I didn't touch anything.
You faded out.
I know, the volume.
Beautiful. It was beautiful.
It was a nice fade out.
It was like the end of a movie, and we just silenced him while we continued the conversation.
And I have a few killer questions for him.
I know. Okay, so how's it going, Robert?
I'm probably plug in the mic. So, Lindsay.
Hi. So, membership sites.
That's so weird.
Let's see. Let's troubleshoot for a second.
I would say unplug your mic and replug it in. Or I would say log out of FBLive and then log back in.
Yeah, why don't you log out and log back in? Because it was so weird how it just kind of faded off like that. Bye, Robert. Oh, see you later. Oh, okay. Membership site. If you're listening and have a membership site, then definitely say something. Yeah. I'd like to know who's watching and who has one. We may as well announce a contest right now, right, Lindsay? while we're waiting.
Well, and our contest winner, right, from December.
Yeah.
Tim Sohn.
Yes.
And he won our biggest share for December. So he won a nice gift certificate for Amazon. He can't decide whether he's going to buy a gadget, some wine, or a book.
Tim, them's the questions, the hard questions. And so we're running this every month. Whoever shares it throughout the entire month, starting on the first, ending on the last day of the month, whoever shares it the most wins $50 at Amazon. So
and you can share it like when we're live or later.
Share it all the time. All right, I'm going to add Robert to broadcast. Here we go. Everyone pray or cross your fingers. Hello, Robert.
Hello, am I here?
Oh!
Still nothing?
It's very faint.
It is very faint. Can you, I don't know. Lindsay, sometimes our guests just doesn't, it's like technical issues. Remember when Tim had all those technical issues when we had him on?
Yeah, we tried to have him log in that one time. With the headset, removing the headset make a difference? I don't know.
Son of a gun. This was going so well, too.
I know. Dang it. One thing, while we're trying to figure out that techie stuff, with membership sites, I mean, obviously it needs to connect to a shopping cart of some kind, and it's connected usually to a program. Now, I know I have a few clients that use Wishlist, which is a WordPress plugin. What do you use, Lindsay?
Well, that was going to be some of my questions for Robert, who we can't hear right now, was Wishlist, or I actually have someone who just released it on Teachable.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which is
a course? Like a course platform?
Like a course platform. Yes. So she kind of released it over there because she didn't want to spend the money on a WordPress.
Another website.
Robert, do you want to reboot and come back?
Okay, sure.
Yeah, just reboot. We'll continue the convo. We'll see you in a bit. Bye, bro. Bye-bye. So yeah, definitely Wishlist is definitely the most popular that my customers use. How about you?
Wishlist, and then I have another client that uses MemberPress, which honestly, it's the same thing. Simple Press or MemberPress, she's got a couple of things in there, but yeah, and it's just basically like you've got all these pages, right, in your website, and say you've got different levels of membership, then those pages you kind of like give permissions. So this page that has this content and resource, this page only has access to like gold level membership. And then when they buy, your shopping cart is connected to Wishlist or MemberPress, and it automatically triggers them to set up a username and password, and then they get voila, access to all these web pages. But you raise a good point. So does your client have, versus like a bunch of resources and videos, is her membership based on courses, which is slightly different, I think?
No, it's just like my other client who's really successful. It's about 7 videos. It's 7 modules worth of videos. But again, she just didn't want to build a site. She couldn't afford it at the time. So
fair enough.
I think it's working out pretty well. But I think outside of that, I think where I see most people really struggling with membership sites are 2 things. The first is the technology, which we talked about. And I think you can go look at all these WordPress plugins and see all the awesome bells and whistles and get like overwhelmed. What I recommend to clients is they actually write down what they want their membership site to do after they've visited a few membership sites, and then find the plugin that meets that, and don't get all involved and and it should do this and it should do this. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it can get really overwhelming.
Well, and the other, I was just going to say, if they're going to be creating a website for the membership and it's a WordPress site with Wishlist, it's people like you that set that up. So you don't have to worry about it.
That's right. Yeah. So if you have an idea for a membership site, definitely you can reach out and we'll take care of the tech for you. But I think the 2 main issues with membership sites are, the first thing is they develop a membership site and they don't test if there's a need. So I have launched a couple of membership sites for customers and it's like, nobody wants it. Sorry. Like you kind of have to make sure like with any product, that it's actually like needed and people are willing to buy the content.
Yeah.
Versus just checking it out on the web or whatever.
Yeah. I've known tons of people that have sold the membership program ahead of time, pre-sold it, and then like, holy crap, I got to put a website and membership site together and put the content in.
And the content, which is like what you're selling. You're like, that's a membership site is selling content. So you have to put a lot of thought into it. Because the other thing, especially if you're on like this monthly plan of content of a membership site, is you have to maintain these people. So if you're charging $10 for a membership site, you have to have a decent onboarding process, and you have to like keep producing content and interactions, so they'll keep paying you. Like that's the entire point. You don't want to onboard someone for $10 and just have them leave. You have to somehow keep them by providing whatever it may be. Maybe it's Facebook Lives or, but you have to like, content is the important thing. You can't just slap up a membership site and invite people in, because they won't stay.
Is crucial. I mean, if you don't get them to be engaged in the content in those first 30 days to take action on the pieces that are in there, and I find too that sometimes people go. This happened to me. I went into the social, not knocking them, they're like friggin' awesome, but social media marketing world. Their membership site, like the flood of content that in there, it's like, holy crap, where do I start? So like, if you have a plan, like, okay, as a new member, first check out this and then implement it. Then go here and do this. And if you're email the hell out of them for the first month, right? To make sure that they're engaged in the content, that they've set up their username and password, that they've call them. I mean, with Jim's program, we would call them. Hey, have you looked around? We'd give that one-on-one service and give them one-on-one tutorials to even find their way around the membership site.
Excellent point.
So that they do use it, so that they stay on longer, right? And those first 3 months, man, people can be in and they don't use it, they don't go in it, then they bail.
Well, yeah, because why would they keep paying you for information that they're not even using? No. Absolutely.
Yeah. Or they can't figure out where to find it. They can't figure out how to use it, how to implement it.
Yeah, so you have to have a strong onboarding process to show them around, like Lindsay said, and you have to have the content to back up whatever you're selling. So, but I mean, membership sites are a really excellent way to not be in this dollars per hour kind of situation. It's a really great way to leverage your business, leverage your expertise, and like really you can have a membership site across anything. Like I said, my most popular membership site out of all my clients is a gentleman who does Christian videos, basically how to be a better Christian. And he kills it. I mean, I don't know, should I say kills it and he's a Christian? I think that's okay. He crushes it. Yeah, so like anything can be a membership site. However niched, I have another people that how to lose weight through hormone balancing, and you
totally.
Or obviously business coaches have a lot of membership sites, and those are great. Online marketers have membership sites, so like it doesn't really matter your niche. Again, remember my religious customer, he kills it. So whatever it is, you can create some videos and sell it.
I have a tax coach client that we all know and love. And she's got a membership site, and she gives like, here's a manual, here's a product, but they become a member, which extends their engagement, right? And provides that more value. And they have like, group calls kind of thing. And there is some content in there that's refreshed and what have you, and updates on like when the next call is. And plus, honestly, to me, a membership site is a way to upsell people to a whole nother level or a whole nother product, because you have their undivided attention.
And you're the expert. So I would say quite typically a membership site, although you can make some pretty decent coin off of it, is a really good like gateway based product for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And it can be the side gig to your coaching, so to speak, where it's like, you go from a Facebook group to like a membership thing to then like an event and coaching. It's like, it's all part of that ascension ladder and that product ladder.
Okay, I'm going to see if Robert's in yet. Here we go. Cross your fingers.
Let's give him a recap of what we chatted about.
Robert?
Am I here? Can you hear me?
Yeah!
Oh, we made it. All right.
Oh, heck yeah! Woohoo! Raise the roof.
Heck yeah.
So when you were leaving, we were talking about the different ways to set up a membership site. And we were saying that a lot of our clients use Wishlist. Some of them will use a course platform like Thinkific or Teachable. I have a client that uses MemberPress or Simple Press. I can't remember the name of it right now, but like, do you have a preference, or does it really matter?
What do you use? That's our question.
I use Wishlist Member, but it doesn't matter. Whatever gets the job done. I think a lot of people, they overthink it, and they think that the bells and whistles are what's gonna make them all their money. Like, they geek out about all of the drip content or about all the levels, and it's like, how are you gonna make a sale based on that, right? How are you going to make a sale based on, ooh, you're going to join this and you're getting all this stuff dripped out on you? No one cares about that, right? People just care about the result. So, like, I listened in a little bit when I was coming back in, and you gals are talking about.
What we were saying? Do you agree with what we were saying, Robert? Say yes, or I'll kick you off.
About 80% yes.
Oh.
So
what was the 20% you don't agree with?
Okay, so the 20% is that some niches do suck. It's not you, but some niches do suck, right? And so here's kind of what I mean. It's like, like the fact that it's a membership site isn't going to make it a more exciting niche. So, like, sometimes you hear about having a membership site about like making money, and like that's pretty obvious. But then you have sites about, say, like a hobby niche, right? And you say like, well, if you make a site about like playing guitar, that's popular. A site about playing piano, that's popular. What about a membership site about like how to play the tuba? Does anyone really care about a membership site about how to play a tuba? Like, who's even going to buy that? Like, a 12-year-old kid can't buy that.
I did have a client that it didn't succeed, and her membership site was how to have a squirrel as a pet.
Shut up!
I'm dead serious. It didn't work. So you're right, Robert.
And I mean, and that could still make like a fun Kindle book or something, but yeah, like I think that sometimes some people have an ego problem and they don't want to let go of their idea, and maybe they need to think things through a little bit and be like, well, who's actually buying that? Because who is that? Do you know Onyx Singal?
No.
He's affiliate classroom. Well, like he's like this big time internet marketer, and he when he got started, he was trying to make a membership site about how to get better grades, like study habits and all these like cliff notes and things like that, which sounds like a good idea. But again, who's buying it? If you're a high school kid or a college kid, are you going to be spending money to figure out how to be a better student? Heck no.
When you should be studying? Are you going to study on how to study when you should be studying? Huh?
Right. I mean, yeah, that blew my mind. It's getting meta. And then you figure that maybe the buyers I think he found out that the buyers were parents. So like there were some parents of kids that were like, hey, you're not studying. I'm going to buy this course just to make sure you study. But then it was like a real trickle of sales. It was a real kind of an uphill battle. So yeah, crappy niches, exactly. But I mean, so there are those niches that are exciting, but I think people, they're too focused on the mechanics of things. They're like, ooh, I'm going to make a 10-part system on how to mow your lawn or something. Like, so some things people don't care about.
Thank you. Amen.
Have you had, oh, damn, I just forgot where my thought was going. Oh, have you had clients or yourself that have pre-sold memberships and then be like, oh, snap, I got to build my membership site now in a hurry?
Yeah, I used to do that all the time, probably from maybe 2009 to 2012. That was my business model. I would make a webinar and I would figure out like some cool stuff to teach for free, and I'd figure out the stack and I'd figure out what an upcoming class was, and I'd say, it's these 4 modules and we're going to meet on this day and this day, and here's these bonuses, and I wouldn't even have it done. I'd just say, I'm on the webinar, I'm going to pitch it, and there you go. You're the first batch of students. So yeah, I've totally done that.
So do you still do that?
No. Now, I don't know. Honestly, I couldn't even tell you. I think that I mean, now maybe I overthink it more, and now I just kind of like how about this? I have more confidence now that I can make a whole course ahead of time, and before that, I was like, I'm not sure if I might start on it and I might not finish it. So by doing that, that old way I used to do it, where I sold the course first, I was like, at least this way, people are depending on me. Like people paid me money, people are logging in, the content's not all there, we're making the content with them. So that was kind of the motivation for me to get it done. And I think nowadays I know I can just put it in the calendar, schedule out the recording, and just get it done ahead of time. So there's my answer for you.
So do you think that people are more leery of this pre-sold thing, since there are so many more membership sites coming out, that they are kind of like on to the whole game that, oh, it's not created yet? Or do you think people are okay with it and they'll prepay?
I mean, it depends on your list, right? It depends on your following. It depends on the cliche if they know, like, and trust you. But I mean, yeah, if you have I don't know. I think that if you have any kind of a list, any kind of a Facebook group, and if you've been struggling to make a membership site, if content's the reason that's holding you back, then I think go for it. But I think set your expectations really low. I think that basically have the goal of to make one sale, get one member. Right. Yeah. Which might seem like a weird thing. But if you say, I'm going to make this course, it's going to be $100, it's going to be $97, right? Us marketers, we can't make it round numbers. It's got to be $97.
Of course, because we're internet marketers.
Yeah. You say, I'm going to sell this thing. It's going to be $97. And you sell it ahead of time. And if you make 0 sales, you don't really have to do it. Right. Because you're like, okay, that was a dud. But if you make one sale, the temptation is to think, oh, that totally flopped. I'm only making $100 for this. Well, you're getting prepaid $100. So the $100 is like, even though it's not a lot of money, it's your kind of upfront motivation that at least one person liked it. So if you only make $97, the total flop, you pay $97 ahead of time to make this course, and then you make it, and then don't forget later on to sell it to other people later on. So it's not like you're gonna make $97 for this whole entire thing. Yeah. But up front, any amount of money is better than zero. Any amount of money is more motivating than just kind of playing the guessing game. Sure.
But you can, out of curiosity, go ahead, Lindsay. Sorry.
I was just going to say, you can deliver material through drip email, Google Drive, Dropbox, meeting on Zoom. I mean, there's ways that you can get by in that beginning stage.
Sure.
I think.
Yeah.
What's the topic of your best-selling membership site, Robert?
Like best-selling now or best-selling of all time?
Ever.
Membership sites, ironically enough. So, site? Yeah, and it sounds bad, but here's why it was really well selling is that it included software, and it's software that can turn off if they refund or cancel.
Right.
So as I was kind of rejoining, you guys were talking about the problem of, I can't have nothing in the membership site because then they'll join and they'll be like, there's nothing here. But then there's the temptation to load it up with all the stuff. And then you have to kind of call them and have all these instructions on how to use the stuff. So I have these plugins that are in this members area. And if they refund or they cancel the payments, things like that, because I have a payment plan on that, then the software stops working. And so instead of overloading them with all these ideas and things like that, it's, well, here's the software that does it for you. But then the training is focused on how to push the buttons. So that's why that sells the best. That's why people stay in because they don't want to lose the software. But then they join because they're like, well, I don't maybe have that much confidence in me applying it, or I'm not sure if I'll be able to handle all this knowledge, but I do know I can push the button, and maybe Robert can teach me how to push the button.
Can you explain that whole, when you have a membership site, how important the pain of disconnect is and how you can implement that to help with your client retention?
So yeah, the pain of disconnect is pretty important. And that's kind of why what I like to do. So just to keep things simple, like if I'm making a new course, I think about, well, let's get them from point A to point B, right? I don't want to just throw a bunch of tips or ideas or interviews at them. I say, what's that end goal there, right? And I mean, for some stuff, it's kind of tricky, like with the how to be a better Christian. Like, I don't know what the exact milestone would be for someone to do that. But let's say you had a course about how to fly a drone or drone racing or something, right? You can say, well, by the time they finish my course, then they know how to, they own a drone, they know how to fly it, they know how to do these different tricks. So now they have these skills that they've picked up, right? Or if you're teaching or something like a real estate course, you say by the time they're done with the real estate course, then maybe they they own a property and they're renting it out, or they flipped a property or something. So if you can think of it in those types of terms, like where do you want them to end up, and not just in things they'll know, but things that they'll create, then I think that helps. So so I like to think of it like where are they at? That's point A. Where do I want them to be? That's point B. And then I think backwards in terms of 4 milestones. And I think about like, so in every module in my course, like I want them to actually like get somewhere, especially in that first module. Because a lot of the times people say things like, well, you know, the first module is the introduction, or I'm going to teach you the history or things like that. And it's like, you got to give them something the first night that they join. And then a quick like tweak to that is that you have these 4 kind of lessons. And after you've taught something for, say, 60 to 90 minutes, at the end, you say, here's a quick assignment. And I call it, and the membership sites, I call this a challenge. And I ask them just 4 quick questions where they don't have to go out and do the thing, but they've kind of answered 4 quick questions so that they know what it is they have to do. So, for example, like, let's say you had a membership site on video marketing, like how to make a presence on YouTube or something, get YouTube traffic, right? And let's say that the first module was just getting your first YouTube video online. You showed in your training, like, here's how to get your camera going, here's how to get ideas on what to talk about, here's how to upload it. And then you say, I showed you all this stuff, but now it's your turn. And now you have to answer these 4 questions. And maybe you ask, you know, number 1, what will your title of your YouTube video be? Number 2, how long will your video be? Say like 3 minutes. Number 3, what's the name of your YouTube channel? That way we can go find it. And number 4, what time and date will your video be online? And just have something like that real quick. And even to keep it simple, you can just, if you have the ability, like in a WordPress blog or a Thinkific page or something, you have your video or your replay of whatever that module was. And below that, you have the questions. And just have, if you have the ability to leave comments, just have a comment box and say, just post those 4 comments down there below. So that way they can kind of have their plans in writing. So I think that those 2 things have helped me a lot. Number 1, have an end goal in mind and having these like 4 specific modules where like they hit these clear milestones. And then after you taught them something, don't just leave them hanging, but give them like just these 4 really simple questions to answer. So they don't have to go and run off and do it, but they answer these 4 questions like 2. Yeah, they have a plan like 2 minutes after watching your thing. And so now it's on them to go ahead and take some action on that. Yeah.
Nice. That's really good advice.
Yeah. Results is key. You want them to feel some ROI or some sense of results that they've made their money back or whatever. Can you talk a little bit into like the relationship part of it on like, because sometimes you feel like you're in a membership and you're just a number and you're not really being connected to or nurtured and you're just like left in the wind.
Okay. Well, one thing that I like to do is capture physical addresses. So, and that's why I like to use WordPress and Wishlist, because I have a plugin where when they sign up, then a pop-up appears and it kind of gets the best guess of their address from the shopping cart, but they can correct it and put it in. And I mean, it's and almost no one does this. It's such an easy touch to do. To, if you see that membership come in or you wait till a bunch pile up, just dump them into send out cards or send them a free book, or if you feel like, you know, writing them a thank you card. I do that a lot of the time. So that's a really easy thing to do. Just get that physical mailing address and send them something in the mail. And then if you feel like you're super ambitious, you can do kind of what you alluded to when I was rejoining was like reach out to them somehow, like have a link to your online scheduler, like your Calendly or your what do you use for that?
I use Calendly.
Okay,
Trade, but
there you go. Yeah, like a time trade or meet me or a schedule once or whatever works for you. Just have kind of those office hours, so that way if they're stuck, give them a chance to meet with you. And I think and you know, maybe they'll buy something else while you're talking to them, or even if they don't, then you talk to even a handful of these people and you'll start to get like the same kind of answers from them, right? Like if you ask them where they're stuck as far as, you know, being a better Christian, maybe they'll throw out some ideas for like a bonus module or something like that. So yeah, little things like that, like collect a little bit of extra information. That way you can meet with them one-on-one.
What is the number one reason why why people are like gung-ho about a membership site and it doesn't work out for them? What's the number one reason, and resolve that for the audience?
Well, they think about the content too much. I think that their eyes are bigger than their stomach, and they keep piling on ideas and ideas about this big, massive product they want to have. They want to have like 2 years of content. They want to drip it out. And that's the wrong way of doing it. That's being product focused, not people focused, right? You need to, like we've been saying the last couple of minutes, you need to focus on what outcome that they will get. And I mean, because if you keep piling on stuff in the content, then what the heck's even going to be in your sales letter, right? How are you going to make that exciting, right? So you need to think about, the outcome, the results, and then work backwards from there. And one thing that I do sometimes, like if I'm really stuck about like an offer or membership site, I'll write the sales letter first, right? Because that way you put in all the cool stuff that you wish. That you wish you could.
Yeah.
Wish you could put in there if you could wave a magic wand, and you load it up with like, well, this module will teach you these kind of things, and so you make the sales letter first, and then go and make the membership site to match your expectations, which seems sort of backwards, but I mean, I think that's the best way to do it, because otherwise you get too caught up in all these things that you're gonna pile in, and who wants that? Because like as far as like drip content and having all these extra things in there, what happened one time was I saw some membership site, and it was like all these different copywriters, all these like famous copywriters like had this membership offer, and it was like this like 6-month program, and it had like all these like household names in there, and the sales letter said something like, by the end of the 2nd month, then you'll start to have an idea of what your first sales letter will be about. I'm thinking, that's like the least exciting thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
So now we're on end of the 2nd month. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I want one module, and I want to write an amazing sales letter. The end. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're like, well, I'm going to teach. If you say my membership site is going to be about copywriting, then that first module, the first day that they join, should be like, you have a sales letter online, right? And then the other modules can be like, you add to it. But yeah, I think that overthinking the content is like the wrong way to go, and a lot of people think about things like drip content and think about the results, and like if you're and make it a course, right? Don't make it some ongoing thing. Say, here's what I want them to end up. I want to give them these 4 modules. They buy for one single price. So I mean, if it's $10 one time, it's $100 one time. That's a membership site, right? And then if they refund, then they can no longer log in, but they pay the one price. They get all your modules up front, or if you haven't made the content yet, then maybe they have that first module and they see like the other dates from when you're going to be doing the other stuff. But I mean, don't overthink it. Sales letter first, have the outcome. You get all this cool stuff. You pay. You get it all. Why make it more complicated?
Bam. That's it. Yeah, I love it. Lindsay, what else you got?
I'm actually building a membership site right now for a client, and it's like a custom built format thing. But currently, they're just like the mastermind members that are in it as we're building up. And we actually beta tested it with some of the higher level guys, so they could go through it and weed out the quirks. And now we're going to be having a subscription model come in. Obviously, it's to upsell, like, ooh, look at all the other stuff. Oh, but you can't have access to that because you're not that kind of a member. And then, there's even like a calendar in there. There'll be pop-ups. So that lets you know the events that come up. And obviously to upsell them to go to an event and then become a mastermind member. So it's like, it's a good thing within itself, but it's also a really good tool, I think, to upsell people to your other items on your ascension ladder, whether it be an event or a mastermind or whatever. Do you guys have a lot of clients that do that?
Well, yeah, like I have this client who's a doctor, and he kind of like he has all these like different like procedures that he's trademarked, and so these doctors, like, if they want to be able to like use his marketing, they go and they join and they get this training, but then they pay ongoing to be in a directory. So kind of like that's like sounds like someone like the kind of out of the box thinking, like with your stuff, like with the calendar and things like that. And then they join him and they pay like $97 a month to do this one procedure, and then he has these other procedures. So then he gets them to kind of do other things, but they keep paying because they want to be in this directory that gets them all these extra patients. If they stop paying, they're out of the directory, and they're not allowed to.
OD, man.
Those kids are going to stay forever.
Yeah. Well, because not only are they taken out of the directory, but according to like the legalese, they're not allowed to do this medical procedure anymore and call it that because they're not kind of paying the licensing there. But
awesome.
but yeah, and I think that with your thing, like I think that it would be really interesting, like you said, like there's people kind of working the bugs out, but once a lot of people use it, it'd be interesting to know if they use certain parts more than others.
Yeah, and get that feedback.
Yeah, because I mean, the calendar thing, it might be no one uses it, or it might be the calendar thing's a total hit, and then it's time to beef that up. But that'd be sort of interesting to see, like when they join it, do they use all the things, or maybe they just focus on like one or two of the areas.
I think with this discussion, it's fair to say that a lot of people will get stuck like, well, I don't know what my membership site should be or what I should offer, or is it enough, or what is everyone else doing, and all this. Just based on our conversation now, like your membership site can be whatever you want it to be, and you can sell whatever you want. But it's not like you're going to put something out and people are like, that's dumb. That's not how membership site works. Like it can be whatever you want. If it's adding value and you can charge, do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean something that I learned early on, but it still took a couple of years to get there, was the whole idea of letting your customers vote with their wallets, right? Ooh. Because it's really easy to like, oh yeah, that'll be the banner for this, right? But I mean, yeah, it's really easy to say, oh, I have this really good idea for a membership site. Let me go and run to my favorite Facebook group, and let me ask everyone about it, and then I'll get 50 comments, and then I'll have like 10 people who are running off now to steal my idea. Some people who say that they don't like it, and who am I even listening to? Just some random, internet trolls, basically. Yeah. So a better thing to do, if you have this really good idea, well, sort of keep it to yourself. Don't tell all of Facebook about it. Go ahead and make it. And then if people buy it, that's a way better validator than people saying, I might buy it. I'm going to buy it. Just put it out there for them to buy it.
I love that.
Love it.
You know what else my one client is doing? Where he has like 3 tiers for his membership level, mastermind, whatever you want to call it, mastermind. The high level, they get a few of these really big things and they have a high value. So he's going to sell those as a standalone for like a killer amount of retarded money. You can buy this for X amount as a standalone product, as an upsell, or, you can join the higher level mastermind.
And you'll just get it all. It'll be amazing.
No, but even if he sells those things, I can't say what they are, but those things for like a stupid amount of money, that's like free money.
Stupid money is the best kind, right?
Free money.
And you know what I was thinking, Lindsay, is that Sam, who's a lawyer, who has like a lawyer coaching, lawyer doctor type thing going on. So he's doing coaching and stuff like that. He should do a membership site with procedures, marketing templates. He would freaking crush it. And he wouldn't, because he stands in his own way, because he does too much stuff on his own and not rely on his peeps that he should outsource to. He would kill it, and then segue them to the coaching.
Yeah.
So Sam, if you're listening,
we know you are, because you're always out there.
And you know what I'm hearing from just, I don't know, maybe like a common thread that I'm hearing here is that it's like you need the membership site kind of to manage it all, right? Like you might have some idea for something really simple and basic and you put it up and you sell it, but then you go in and you add to it later. And then, if you were just handling like downloads via email or things like that, it's like now I have to like give everyone the new stuff, and it's easier just to update your membership site. And then if you get even more than a handful of members, it's like it's hard to keep that all straight, right? It's like either you're going to have like a high ticket thing and maybe you plan on having like, 20, 30 people in there. So now you have to load it up with all this content, or maybe you say, well, I'm going to sell something low ticket for like $100. I'm going to get 1,000 people in there. Well, have fun, like giving 1,000 people their passwords, or have fun giving 1,000 people like sending out of that email or the new download page, right? So whatever way you end up going, whatever cool things you end up adding, or how many people you plan on having in there, you need to have a membership site just to kind of manage it all, right?
And most of all, Robert wants you to have fun.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
So when I first started with Jim and his membership site, a lot of the things that I handled was like customer declines and like reaching out to them. So there's all these little admin things.
There is a lot of little admin things.
People email, I can't get this. I forgot my password. I don't understand this tutorial. How does this work? How do I access this? There are so many questions and calls changing their membership level, or like there's just so much customer service and that, you know, accounts payable or receivable end of things that you need to have, whether it's a VA or a staff or whatever. You can hire a VA on, you know, next to nothing for admin stuff.
But you don't have to do any of that until you have your 1,000 people, right, Robert?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's easy to. I mean, I agree with you completely. But like a lot of problems that people have with membership sites, or things to watch out for, are things to deal with after they get all their sales and their members, right?
Yeah.
And so
then you can afford it. You can afford to farm it all out. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's like two phases there, right? There's like the phase where stuff isn't set up, and a lot of people, they think about, ooh, what about this in 6 months? What about this in a year? And it's like, well, don't even think about that till the membership site is set up. So yeah, there's like the setup phase, and then there's the kind of the nice to have phase, right? Because like it is bad that there's all those declines, but is it the end of the world if say like 10% or 20% of your people drop off? Well, it's not the end of the world, but that's easy money to pick back up when you're at that point.
I guess my point was that a lot of people think they just put the content up, the money rolls in, and they don't have to do anything. Where there are these little moving parts that you need to understand that come into play. I don't want people to, you know, I want them to know the realistic elements of it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you have to do things to keep it going so it doesn't die. But you know, what's interesting about some of that stuff, like the admin stuff, as you put it, is that I don't think it's as complicated as a lot of people make it out to be. So like, for example, when we were dealing with getting some of the declines back, there were some people who were trying to say like, oh, well, you should give them a discount for signing back up, or give them like a free gift for signing back up. And I was just like, let's just try reaching out to them and contacting them. And I think it was like a little bit over 50% of the people that we reached out to signed back up without any kind of discount, gift, or anything. So
that's awesome.
Sometimes like in your brain, you make it too complicated. Like I have to do all these steps to get them back in. But sometimes just the simple solution works.
Well, and the point is, some people just say, okay, you want to quit? Let's move on and cancel it. But you should have steps in place to call them, to find out why. Because maybe they need to be upgraded. Maybe they need to be downgraded. Maybe they're having technical issues, or they just feel overwhelmed most of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time there's a solution, and then you can, you know, pick them back up and keep them. So it's definitely worth having a, I don't know what you want to call it, a decline strategy, if you will.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Decline strategy.
Yeah, I mean, I agree completely. Like there was a point when they were excited enough to buy. So it's like, let's get that feeling back.
Yeah, and finding out, like, is there something in the membership program that you're missing that you haven't even thought of? And they're like, I sure wish this was here. And you can be like, oh, damn, I can make that. I'll make that happen for you next week. All right.
And yeah.
I love it. All right, Lindsay, I told Robert I would only keep him 30 to 45 minutes. Woo! We're taking him to 50.
Damn.
I told him he had to bring it if he wanted to stay on. And here he is. 5 minutes past even his end time.
Did I make
Robert,
the cut?
You in, Robert?
You made the cut.
Thank you. What's that?
What time zone are you in?
I'm Pacific. I'm Central California.
All right. So it's 10 to 10 for me, man.
Yeah, that's late.
6
That's
o'clock.
late. Robert and I get to go party. It's not even 7 o'clock yet.
There you go. Yeah, it's like when there's a conference on the West Coast and people coming in from the East Coast, they're all going to bed at 8 o'clock because they can't handle the time change. It's like, tough it up for a couple of days. Come on.
I'm there. I party hard the first couple of nights, don't I, Lindsay?
Yes, you do, actually. Oh,
wow.
Whoa.
Spooky.
What was that?
Whoa. I don't know. Oh, God.
It's a strobe light. It's party time. Oh, wow.
I'm having some power problems, obviously.
Maybe I should.
Not you.
Thank you, Robert.
There we go. There we go.
Oh my God. It's exciting here at Marketing and Merlot.
Is my house haunted? I don't know. Tracy says she likes Eastern time. Tracy, you're always so amazing to join us on Marketing in Merlot. Thank you for joining us. Okay, we're gonna let Robert go.
All righty.
Actually, before you go, Robert, do your little spiel, do your little www. This is what I do. Call me or visit X membership site. The time is yours.
All right. So here's my deal. You can call me at membershipcube.com is my membership course. My podcast is marketeroftheday.com. And if you're a book learner, I have a book called The Checklist Mindset, which helps you get organized. So I have a thing called 4 Daily Tasks that lets me, if I have my goals, I can consistently get through them. All these tools, like we mentioned, the scheduler, Google Calendar, Gmail, Google Drive. There's all these tools out there that maybe can get you more organized and to help you get a better handle on things. And maybe there are things that can either save you the money from hiring a virtual assistant, or if you have a virtual assistant, have them use the tool or use the tool plus a virtual assistant. So that way you can you're not always relying on a human to do things. Sort of like, sometimes if you're shooting out, like an email to your list, sometimes you just open up the email responder, you blast the email, right? You don't always say, oh, hey, VA, why don't you take this message and copy it 1,000 times? So sometimes the tool gets the job done. So checklistmindset.com is my Kindle book that shows you, thank you. It shows you basically how to get organized with like spreadsheets and checklists and use Google tools to get it all done. So
how much is that? How much is Checklist Mindset? I
think $2.99.
Oh, so it's a big one.
There you go, high ticket. Yep. 300 pennies.
Awesome. Well, Robert, thank you so much for being on the show. I'm going to kick you out now, and Lindsay and I will do our spiel because I don't want to sit around.
Don't overthink your membership sites, everyone. Bye now.
Good lesson. Love it.
Thank you, Robert. See ya.
See ya.
That was fun.
That was good.
Yeah. All right. I just
have a lot of questions about memberships, but I'm going to bug Sam now. He needs to have a freaking membership site.
He really does. So before we go, I just didn't think he'd want to listen to our spiel. So Lindsay, who are you?
Why, I am Lyndsay Phillips with Smooth Sailing Business Growth. So the smoothbusinessgrowth.com. And so I am all about content marketing, blogs, videos, podcast production, social media marketing, email marketing, all that good stuff to get you published and promoted and attracting and acquiring customers faster.
And she has a new podcast.
I do.
So called
Smooth Business Growth Podcast. Original, I know. But it's 15 minutes of proven marketing strategies to move the needle, baby.
Once a week?
Yeah. Every 2 weeks, because I have so much content that I'm recycling. But I seem to be getting a ton of freaking interviews. So I might have to rethink that because I have too much content now.
Oh, because you've been doing the interviews and now you have to wait to release them.
Yeah. So I might move it. I was doing it every 2 weeks and then just recycling my old podcast because there's so much good stuff there.
Yes.
Yeah, I might switch it.
Awesome. Awesome.
It is better than rough business growth. Yes.
Like I said, Robert always has the best comments.
I know. He's so
he was so professional and businesslike when he came on tonight, though. No puns. No puns.
What's up with that? And of course, Lindsay, I know you help people with their websites. They can set up membership sites and all that good stuff.
That's right. We can help you with all that garbage we talked about tonight, all the technical stuff. Trafficandleads.com. If your website isn't producing any traffic or leads, you want to build your email list, if you want to do SEO, pay-per-click, Facebook marketing, all those wonderful things, reach out to us at trafficandleads.com. Or, of course, you can check out my podcast at trafficandleadspodcast.com.
No. So really, you can build the membership site and do Facebook ads to push people to it.
To get members in it. We did that for that one client I was telling everyone about. So.
We're like partners in crime. I can do all the content behind it and the blogs and the call to actions and the social media and the promoting of it. So yeah, just go for the double L, man, and you're made in the shade.
It's L squared, Lindsay. It's not double L.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Awesome. Okay, make sure you share it. You want your $50 Amazon card. All we ask is to share. That's it. Next week, we'll let you know. I don't know. Lindsay, what are we talking about next week? It's your week to host. What do you want to talk about? It's just going to be you and I.
What do I want to talk about? Why don't we talk about how to blog properly? And not just post up an article on your wall and hope for the best.
I love it. How to blog properly. That's a horribly boring title. How to be sexy and blog like a madman. There's my best marketing.
How to blog to suck in all the clients. I don't know.
There you go. How to be a blogger vacuum.
Part of it and talk about the SEO part and the graphics and the optimizing.
There's a lot. So if you're a blogger, definitely tune in next week. Everyone should be a blogger, though. So,
yippee.
All right. Until next time.
All right.
See you guys later.
Bye.